Hey everyone, it's Dave from Dave's Ohio Barbecue. Today we are going to be reviewing the ThermoPro TP19H meat thermometer. Stick around. All right, so before we start this unboxing and comparison video, I wanted to let you know that the fine folks at ThermoPro did send me this unit for free. I am under no obligation to do a review at all. I am under no obligation to give them a stellar review or anything. They're not paying me any money outside of that, but just in the, in the interest of honesty, I just wanted to let you know that they did send me this free of charge. A lot of questions on my channel about what thermometer I use, or do I have a good thermometer I recommend. And I honestly always use this one, the ThermoWorks ThermoPen. Okay, this cost me $99 when I bought it. I believe I've seen them as low as $70 on their website. Really, the only place to buy them is through the ThermoWorks website. And you know, $70 is a lot. This is the older version. The newer version will still cost you around 90 to 100 bucks. So when ThermoWorks, or when ThermoPro reached out to me, which is the company that makes this thermometer, and asked me if I'd do a review, I'd say why not. At the time, this was selling for, I believe, $16 on Amazon. I've seen it recently as low as $13.50 on Amazon. So if it performs even, 75% as well as this one, then I think it's probably well worth the money, especially if you're not really, I have a YouTube channel, that's why I dropped the money on this one. But if you're just a backyard grower and just need something for around the house, we're going to check this out. So let's start by unboxing it and see what we got in here. All right, so here's the unit. All right, right off the bat, it's remarkably similar. Now, the ThermoWorks comes in many, many different colors. I don't want you to think everything is just orange, or as they say out here in the Midwest, orange. I just happen to like that color, so that's what I chose for my ThermoPen. This only comes in this color, but it's remarkably similar from the sort of silicone gray edge right here. It's got, a battery packet back here. It's got, it looks like a magnet. It's got some little grippers so it doesn't slide. Foldable, thermometer probe. Looks pretty good. Also in the box, there's a small screwdriver for removing the back panel to put in the batteries. And there also is a battery. Well, not batteries, battery. It takes one AAA battery. So let's put that in there and see what we got. Ooh. Okay. Also, while we're inside here, there are some buttons here for resetting and calibrating the thermometer. You can calibrate this thermometer, which for $13.50 is pretty cool. There's also a Celsius and Fahrenheit button right here if you want to switch in between those two. So let me get this cover back on. There's a gasket that goes around the edge here to keep any water out. This is waterproof. So you don't have to worry about accidentally leaving it out in the rain. I probably wouldn't submerge it in a tank of water, but, accidentally getting splashes on it when you're cooking or something like that, it should do a good job. Now, someone had told me online, and I'm going to point this out before I put this back on, that this little retaining clip right here, the whole point of it is to hold, the screw in place so you don't lose it. A lot of people have said the problem with this retaining clip is it doesn't allow you to really seat the lid down tight into the compartment. And some people even suggested taking it off. And I've already, just by screwing it in, I felt a little bit of tension. So I'm going to see if I can pop that off and see if I get a better result. Now, this is not recommended by the manufacturer. Oh yeah, but already you can see the screw is kind of really going down in there. And my whole goal is I'm trying to get this cover to just kind of really sit in there. Yeah, it's really down in there. I just want a nice weatherproof seal on there, and that should do the job just fine. Okay, so here it is. Battery's in. You can see if I take the probe out, it turns on. The light's on as well, at least for the beginning part there. You can turn the light off with this little button. It doesn't have an automatic light sensor like the ThermoWorks does, but honestly, how hard is it to press a little button, turn the light on and off? And once you retract the probe, the thermometer turns off automatically. Pretty cool. It also has a turn off feature. If you leave it sitting for a while, it will just shut off automatically. Also in the box is the instruction manual. That's always good. And then some like warranty information and customer service type little cards. You'll also see here, there's this little lock button. What that does is it locks the temperature in place for 5 seconds. If you just want to pull, let's say you're reaching into the oven to get a temperature of a turkey and you can't quite see the screen, you can lock it, pull it out, look at it, and then you can unlock it by pressing the button again. It only lasts for 5 seconds, but that's a pretty neat little feature. Now, one thing people like to compare, because you want a decent sized probe on these things in order to get, down deep into the meat and also to keep your hands sort of out of range. So let's compare these side by side. And if I line it up here, okay, the ThermoPen, which is the expensive one, looks to be maybe 1/4 of an inch longer. I mean, it's really not that big of a difference. So I don't think that would cause any problems whatsoever. So far, that seems pretty good. I like the feel of this. It feels good in the hand. This little notch right here, you can see it's kind of cool for the fingers, and it's got a nice silicone rubbery grip on it. Pretty cool. The real test, though, is going to be how accurate and how fast these thermometers read. So for my first test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make ice cubes, and I'm going to take a temperature of some ice water, which should theoretically be about 32 degrees. I'm not going to use tap water, though. I'm going to use this, distilled water. I've been looking around, and a lot of people say when you do these sort of scientific things, you should, use distilled water. That way there's no minerals or anything in it. So I'm going to take some of this, pour it into an ice cube tray, freeze up the ice cubes overnight, and then tomorrow we'll be back to test the accuracy of this thermometer. So before we start testing out these two thermometers, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscription button too, and press the bell next to it. That way you'll get notifications when I make new videos. All right, so a little explanation about my ice test here. First of all, I'm going to do the ice test inside of an insulated cup. Keeps the temperature a little bit more uniform, and it's a little bit more scientific, I guess. I'm using distilled ice cubes, distilled water ice cubes, and I'm also using water that's distilled as well. So it's all distilled, nothing tap or nothing mineral water, nothing like that. I'm going to put it into the insulated cup, and I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes so that the water can kind of equalize and become whatever temperature it is. Ice water should read at 32 degrees, obviously. So let's try the ThermoPen first of all. ThermoPen, you can see, is reading at 33 once it settles out at its temperature, so pretty close, about 1 degree too high. Now the ThermoPro TP19, that one is leveling out right at 32, so if anything, it's 1 degree more accurate than the more expensive ThermoPen. I also wanted to test these thermometers with boiling water. At my elevation here in Ohio, water boils at just about 210 degrees. So let's start with the ThermoPro, the TP19. You can see that one is bouncing right between 209 and 210, so pretty much dead on. And then the ThermoPen, that one came in right at about 211, which is about, again, 1 degree high. I probably should calibrate this thing. I also wanted to do a real world experiment, so I've got these big tomahawk ribeyes, and I'm gonna just see how fast these probes work. I'm not looking for the exact same temperature because I'm not gonna get the probes in the exact same piece of meat. So I'm just gonna put it in. They're both about, air temperature right now, and see how long it takes for them to climb to their final temperature. let's do our final comparison of these two thermometers. First of all, the probes. They're basically the same length. ThermoPen is a little bit longer, but not long enough to make a difference, so that one's a wash. Their screens are both equally as readable. Now, this one rotates at 90-degree increments. This one only does 180, like that. But the numbers on this one are much bigger, so it's much easier to read. There isn't an automatic light, but honestly, how hard is it to press a little button? So maybe slight advantage to this, but honestly, I'd say that's a wash as well. They're both pretty much equally accurate. In fact, the cheaper, the ThermoPro came out slightly ahead of this one, although this one can be recalibrated, so I would say they're both equally as accurate. It's pretty much all equal except for two categories. This one reads temperatures a lot quicker, the ThermoPen. You saw it got to its final temperature in 2-3 seconds. It advertises 4 seconds maximum. This one is closer to 10 seconds, sometimes even longer, 12-14 seconds. So it reads temperatures much slower. But this one's going to run you anywhere from $70 to $100, whereas this one's going to run you basically 15 to 20. So you're paying a quarter of the price and you're just having to deal with maybe 10-second difference in reading time. And that's not on every situation, that's just every so often. So I would say if you're starting out, or if you just need another thermometer, or if you just need a thermometer in general, this one's a really great thermometer. I mean, especially for the price. It's durable, it's waterproof, it's got a magnet, you can stick it to the side of your grill. It's great. For the price, it is a fantastic little probe thermometer. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure you follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Dave's Ohio Barbecue. I also have a Facebook page. Just go to Facebook and search for Dave's Ohio Barbecue. It should come up. And then also make sure you hit the subscription button down below and hit the bell next to it. That way you'll get a notification anytime I make a new video. If you like this video, hit the like button as well. I got a lot of videos coming out really, really soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.